Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good
So I went across your submission, right? So we'll go with the start with the draft 8.
morning.
So the issues that made was like you haven't marked this, right? The question, the
Okay.
marking should be there. You should mark
Oh,
question number 8 and the last three, right?
okay. Okay.
That's one problem. And you, of course, you have done the literature, okay, but make sure do not change colors within a submission. It should be same color throughout the document, and it should be uh, what, same style, same font style. Okay, so
Okay.
so that's one of the issues, and make sure like when you are typing a report or somewhat in the future submissions as well, make sure that you use this justification. Can you see this? Now this is aligned to
Yes.
left side. So
Yeah.
justification makes it in a report format. Okay,
Okay, sir.
right? So make sure
Okay, sir.
that you have that so that it is somewhat clear. In this is the correct report format, right?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And the page numbers are not there, right?
Okay.
And
I.
this is of course okay, right? This is
Okay.
preferences are okay, but make sure again to have the same color, right? Same font color, and as well as the heading should be bold, right?
Okay, sir.
So those are the things that need to be discussed in the question number 8 draft, right? So we'll go on
Okay.
to the
Okay.
presentation
Okay.
here. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir. I try to put the citation in PowerPoint, but the option is not there. That's
I
why
know.
I did not put that.
Just you have to copy and paste,
Okay, sir. Okay.
right? So now
Okay.
here in the presentation, of course, what you have done is the colors here. Now I have commented next to the presentation. Oh, here you have used a bit of a dark color, right? Dark and a luminous
Ah,
color. So it
sir.
is, yes,
Light color is enough.
yes, light color is enough. But when you're presenting this, this is quite not visible.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir. Sir. I. I submit the PowerPoint. This is not our presentation.
That means
So I changed and sent to you. This is not our presentation, final presentation.
okay, but you have to send the draft, right? Draft of
Okay,
the
sir.
final presentation. So what are the
Okay.
changes that you have done?
Sir, we have changed the
Okay, share the
background
screen
in
if
white.
possible.
Okay, sir. Okay. I share. Sir,
Yes.
sir, you stop the screen sharing and I share that.
Right. Okay. Changes that you have done in this. What
Sir,
print me and this.
sir, in that presentation, we changed the background color
Mm-hmm.
in white and green.
Okay, just
Then we changed some.
it's only the colors that
So
you have changed.
you
Hmm?
yeah, sir. White and green background colors.
All right. And contents are the same.
Content.
Contents in the sense
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you have done
Content.
in the
Oh,
script.
content same.
All right.
Content same. We
Yeah. So
uh,
now I'll go through the contents first, and since you have changed it, you can
uh
do the changes as as I have commented here, right? You can do the
okay,
changes
sir.
and amend in the final draft in the sense
Okay, sir.
final submission. Okay. So starting on
Okay,
with
sir.
the uh, first one, it's the color issue, right? And the second, of
Okay, sir.
course, you have left so much space here, right?
What,
Can
sir?
you see?
Okay.
There's a there's a
Okay,
lot
sir.
of space here. Make sure you include this, reduce and include some more points,
Okay, sir.
like what this project is, right? What is the meaning of, like, what is the basic uh, task of this, right? So there are two questions
Okay,
in the
sir.
introduction that should be addressed. So make sure you have include it here, right? So the next, of course, I see that you have
Sir, sir.
gone out
What
of
what
the, yes,
what is the project is and what is the task?
yeah, that is given in the term project sample, right? The
Okay, sir.
guideline, it's given the question.
Okay, okay,
So make sure you answer both those questions, right? And here in the ingredients, of course, I this is okay, but I have said that the slide is, this table has gone out of the slide. So
yeah,
always make
yeah,
sure
yeah.
that
But we
yes,
we corrected that.
okay, right. So in the third third one, third question, I say that
Yeah,
no, actually I can't see anything here. This is not visible, ne? Right?
sir.
You're
Like
presenting this.
these pictures, like these pictures, how can we put on slide?
Choose two slides, right?
Okay, okay, sir.
Use two
Okay,
slides, and you need to enlarge this. But what you have copied is like not clear. See, it's bit
okay, sir.
blurring the. Yes, let me check. Oh, this is okay. This is bit okay. Right. Anyways, like you have to uh, do the alterations like that, right?
Okay, okay, sir.
Likewise, so that it is visible now, right? And
Okay, sir.
what you have done in the draft, of course, this part, this is too much of detailing. You can reduce the detailing. This is quite hard to explain as well, right? In the time frame of 10 minutes, I don't think you will be able to explain all these, right?
Okay, sir. So
So like, you have to
so
make sure to summarize this into
okay, sir. The
pages.
cement production, we summarize all of these categories in cement production.
Yes,
So, our actually our project is concrete. So
yes.
we reduce all of these things. Okay, this is okay, I think.
This is okay, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
So include this and reduce the number of uh, like individual components, right? You have
Okay,
so
sir. Okay,
many explaining here, but for the presentation itself, you can reduce it, right? Summarize it,
okay, sir.
right? And that is okay. Properties, of course, again, has been exceeded, the slide limit. Users
Okay,
are
sir.
okay. This here again, this has exceeded the slide limit. And here, of course, I say that this is too small in font, right? The
Yeah,
font size is
sir.
small, so make
Actually,
sure
we
you increase. Yes,
okay, okay.
right?
So actually, which size font we want to put on
No,
slides?
like you can see it is visible, whether it is visible or not. Now this is cannot be seen. See,
Yeah, yeah.
I have to use a magnifying glass to see this,
Okay,
right? So make sure you reduce some of the content and increase the size, font size. Okay. And
okay.
discussion, of course, discussion here should include the question number 8. Question
8.
number 8
Okay,
is
sir. We put that, but our
question number 8, and make
okay,
sure to uh, do a small discussion of the overall project that you have done from the question number 1, question number
to
8, and
okay,
what you have done before that in creating the group and all those stuff. The entire
okay, sir.
project should be mentioned in the discussion, right? And
Okay,
in the conclusion, this is not the this is conclusion. In conclusion, here as well, you have to talk about the final outcome, right? Outcome in the sense we found this alternative, and
okay, sir.
as explained before, it has so many advantages and matches the original product, right?
Okay, sir.
And also you have to mention, you have to conclude saying that the outcome of this task was met, right?
Okay, sir.
Some of this task was met successfully, right? And you can also like do some thanking here, the ones who
Okay,
have
sir.
helped you, right? So
Okay,
conclusion, of course, you can include that, and references again. This is small, right? The size is small,
sir.
so make sure include a big font, right? So those are the things that you have to make, and
Sir,
at the last you
sir.
have to put a thank you slide again,
Okay,
right?
okay,
To
sir.
conclude.
Sir, sir, can I
Yes.
share my screen? Please see that.
Abdul, yeah, just in a short time, okay? Because like you have to end this
Okay,
session.
sir.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this is open in Word. This is
Okay,
our
that's fine.
background.
Right, that's fine.
Is that okay, sir? In introduction.
You need to
Uh,
explain more, right?
okay, sir. So next. So this is open in. We have marked it, but this in my phone.
Yeah.
This presentation
Okay,
opened
Abdul.
in
Now, what
Word
I
file.
have explained, yeah, okay, that's fine. What I have explained here, right? Because like I'll
Ah,
be putting up this video recording at the end, right? So make sure you
okay,
go through this, what I have told and what I have commented in the document. I'll be sending the document to the commented document back to you again through an email. So make sure
okay,
you
sir.
uh, amend it, alter those changes into the final presentation, right? And
Okay, sir. Okay,
if you have any problems, you can uh, let me know, right? But
okay, sir.
make sure like it is more visible and attractive to the audience, right? Okay,
Okay,
then
sir.
we have to conclude this meeting. I need the attendance. Who are the ones
Sir.
present today?
Sir Rajapaksha is absent.
Okay,
All members are present.
all right, right. Okay, thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You gave a lot of helps for us for do this work
Okay,
successfully.
so
From
yeah,
group
that's my
name,
job,
this is
right?
so this is last. I think this is last workshop, no?
Yeah, this is the last workshop. So
So,
I'm
so
really proud of you all. Like you have uh, come up to a great extent, right? From the
okay,
beginning, of course, beginning till the end, you have improved
Yeah.
Good, right? So that
Okay, sir.
is, it is a real proud for me, proud moment for me. Okay, right? Okay,
Okay,
thank you
sir.
for
Okay,
joining
sir.
then. See you. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay.
Hello.
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 Morning, sir.
Good morning. Where are the members?
Uh, some of them are coming, and I couldn't contact some of them.
Okay. Anyways,
Uh,
we'll start. We'll start your session, right?
okay.
So I've gone through what you have submitted. Can you all see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So here, of course, the things that need to be altered, like in the draft, you have to mark the question number 8. You have missed that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's one. And focusing on the question number 8, this is okay. This is a good performance in question number 8, but make sure you have to limit it to one page somehow or other,
Uh-huh.
right?
Okay.
So limit, reduce these sizes, right? The spaces
Mm-hmm.
here, and
Okay.
you can limit this to one page, right? And here, of
Yeah.
course, question number 8 is totally on literature review, which means that you have to refer. What you have done in question number 7 is another literature review, but in this question 8 is basically mentioning all the things that you have covered from question 1 to question number 8,
Mm-hmm.
and literaturing the alternative, all the alternatives simply, right? Question number 1 to question number 8, and all the alternatives. So do a literature on all the alternatives, and uh, make sure to include that this particular alternative was selected on the basis of properties or such things, and you can prove that with the literature. So question number
Okay.
7 is quite related to this, but in question number 8, of course, it should be mainly describing all the alternatives, and like pushing forward to the question number 8, the best alternative, right? So here there should be references, five references and 2 journals in it, right? Within the 5 references. So make sure that you have that here. So the draft is okay. I'll be sending these commented drafts back to you all via email, right?
Okay.
And when coming to the presentation, of course, this is okay. But here you have to include the introduction of the project and the
Okay.
title. So what is this title, and what is this project? What are the goals of this project? So that should be mentioned in the introduction. So you have a space here. You may include it in this part. Right?
Okay.
So this is okay. Right? So make sure you see the comments next to every slide. Right? Some slides I won't, because like that's quite satisfying. So here, of course, in tables and using tables for presentation. Now, when you have this projected, see that it is not bit clear and separated. Now, this is one answer, and this is another answer, so that you have to
Uh,
separate them with the borders. So make sure
okay.
you separate that, right? Here as well, the same thing, right? I have commented the same as before. Comment.
Okay.
So here, of course, Is Manas from your session? No, right?
Sorry.
Is Manas JAAU from your workshop?
Yes, sir. I can't reach their phones.
So in this slide, of course, you could hear me, right?
Yeah.
In this slide, of course, like mention similar to the document, like what you have done in the document, you can mention that here, right?
Okay.
And which is quite the input should be based on to the left side, and the output should be moved to the right, right? So make sure you do the amendments in the final version. And in the applications, of course, this is okay. And here, fine, is okay. Better here as well include the image that you have mentioned, included. So in the draft, of course, you have included some real images. That would be really good if you can have it here next to this one, right?
Yeah.
So that's one, and here is okay, and discussion is okay as well. And in the conclusion stage, you should include the overall, right? Which means the entire project should be mentioned, right? In the discussion as well, the entire project is to be mentioned. We have done that. In the conclusion, of course, make sure that you mention from question 1 to question 8 what was done, and in meeting the objectives, was it done successfully? Is it a good outcome, right? So here at the end, of course, you can conclude saying that the outcome of this project was met successfully, right? As the last bullet or last sentence, right? So in the references, of course, please include numbering rather than bullet points. Okay? This is
Yeah. Okay.
quite bit okay, but rather to make it more improved and attractive, make sure you have numbering. Okay? So that's all actually. Those are the things that should be made. I'll send this as well in the email. Right? So make sure do the all changes in the final submission, and we can proceed with the submission then, right? So those are the things that need to be discussed actually, right? So Shivas, thank you for following
Yes.
these workshops, right? So now this is the last presentation. I don't think we'll meet again in a workshop, right? So
Yes.
thank you for coming, and please let me know who are the members present here.
I think only me. I think the Manat is not in
It's on the next, next group, right? Okay. So
Sure.
thank you for coming, Shifas. Right?
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Okay. So is everyone here?
LP together is missing. Bihesha.
All right. We'll start the session, okay? Because like we have some short time to discuss, right? So
Okay.
I'll share the screen, right? Because like I have to go through the drafts that you have submitted. So I'll be sending all the commented drafts back to you again through an email. We'll go to the question number 8 first. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Right. So here, of course, starting with this, you have marked these two, but not the last two. You have to mark last two as well, because this is the graph which will be marked against the quality as well as
So I can see the documents.
Sorry,
I can't see the document.
I have shared the screen. Others? Hello. How about others?
Can't see.
Can see.
Can't see.
Is it visible now?
It's now okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So here, of course, starting on with the marking. So the marking rubric, you have missed two elements that you need to mark, right? So that was what I was saying before, right? So here in question number 8, right? Is question number 8. Here you have actually included two types of font styles and font sizes, right? So make sure you have the same font style and font size in every document that you are going to present in the future submissions, right? So keep that as a practice, and make sure always to double check before submission. Right now you have included this as question number 1, which is not relevant here, right? It's about the question number 8 that we are talking about, right? And in the references, of course, like the last two references are a bit copy and pasting of the link, which needs to be referred again, right? So those are the things that need to be done in the draft 8, right? Going on to the presentation, right? The presentation, this is okay. Better here I have commented, right? Make sure you go through the comments, right? So in the right hand side you can see the comments that I have included. So here I would prefer if you can include the image, right? So
Okay.
actually the meaning of presentation is that you have to give the whole understanding or summarize understanding to the audience, right? To the audience within a short time. So if you are going to read all these wordings, you will not be able to complete within 10 minutes, and you will be applied to a penalty as well, right? So make sure that you move on with graphical representations, morely in presentation. Like when you are doing a presentation, make sure you do it more graphically in the sense images, right? Include more images, right? Introduction is okay, right? Here, of course, you need to reduce the spacing, right? There's unwanted spacing here, right? You can reduce this. And ingredients, of course, you can, yeah, this is okay. Yeah, but make sure when you are doing the submissions and for submissions of the final presentation, make sure you do a color match before that. Like just go through it with see whether it is visible to the audience, right? You have to like make the audience take the audience attraction to your presentation, right? Or else they won't care about it. So kind of marketing, right? So that's okay. Here it's okay. And this, of course, it's now when you see this at the first place, at a glance for the audience, of course, this is quite bit complicated to grab, right? So they have to go through the rows one by one. So make sure like you have, it's better if you can like color differently the input and the output, right? So that it is more clear to them, right? It is they can there is no varying of the inputs and outputs here, so that so it is quite confusing, yeah, right? So make sure to make it more clear, right? And better to include like we call stages, separate stages, like dotted line box in separate sections, right? In the extraction, in the processing, and in transportation or such, etc. Okay, so make sure you do that. And here, of course, the applications, there should be around 4 applications mentioned, right? This is okay, this is good. But make sure you include the font size, right? This is quite small. Alternatives, of course, is okay, right? Here again, better to include the images. For each alternative, please include the images, right? And yeah, here as well, the proposed alternative what you have selected. So you can have the image here at a corner, right hand top corner, right? Discussion. So this, of course, this is okay, right? Better to include, better to improve the size a bit, right? Increase the size a bit. And conclusion as well. In the conclusion, of course, you need to mention from question 1 to 8. Right now, you have done a small comment, like considering of that, but make sure like to explain more, right? From this conclusion, in the sense, the whole project, what you have done in the first term, will be ending from this conclusion. Right? There will be no other things that will be uh, like taking back into consideration in like, revising back after this conclusion. So this is the last thing that you will be presenting as your term project. So make sure that in the conclusion, of course, you have to make mention all the things that you have done from the start of this project, forming teams and likewise till the end. And you can actually at the last statement stating in here, stating that the outcomes, the main outcomes of this project was met successfully, and these are the things that we have overcome throughout the project. So likewise, and here the references, I cannot see this, and if you are to have this, you need to give the audience a magnifying glass as well. So make sure increase the size, right? You have like, you can include another slide and have some of the references in that as well, right? So here I see that there is only links here. So make sure in the Word file you refer this and then copy and paste it to here. Okay. So and concluding, like at the last, better include a thank you slide. Right. Okay. So those are the things that you have to do basically. Right. So I hope you have understood this. Right. And this will be our last workshop. So thank you for cooperating throughout this workshop, like in the hour of need, right? So thank you, right? Thank
Thank
you,
you.
and I will send this draft, the commented draft back to you, right? So make sure you amend the final submissions. And before concluding, please let me know who are present here. Hello.
Manit is present. Heshani, Nandasiri, Vimansa and Desha is not available.
So the last two members are not present, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay then. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much
you.
for coming. Right. Thank you. Stay safe. Have a good day. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
So all are from group number
Good morning, sir.
54, right?
Good
Yeah.
morning, sir. Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
So I'll share the screen of your draft. Right. Before that, can I know who are the members present here? Yes, guys, come on. Who are the members present here?
Sir, Disanayak, DMI.
Okay.
PS Munisinghe.
Okay.
Hello, Kulajalaga UGDU.
Okay.
Sir Kumar Singh KOG KDB.
Okay. There's one more. Last member, is he here? Vijayvardhana?
I think he connecting.
He's connecting.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, we'll start. He'll join in the middle. Right? So I'll share the
Yes.
screen of what you have done. Right? So the workshop question number 8 draft which you have sent me is question number 6 and 7, which is not. I'm not going to refer that again, right? So you have to do the question number 8 again, right? It is this week's draft, so you haven't completed that, right? So unfortunately, I should say this that you are the only team that that haven't done the question number 8, right? So make sure you do that and submit it to me within today. So it is basically on the literature review of the whole project that you have done, right? So I'm referring to question
Yes.
number 8. It is the whole project that you have done, and you have to mention like all the alternatives, and you have to show that likewise in question number 7 what you have done, it is somehow rather uh, mentioning the best alternative and showing the benefits, but here of course you have to prove it with literature review, right? So the literature should have 5 references and 2 journals should be there within it, right? There's one additional member here. Can you all know who? Can you all say me who is it?
Hmm?
Can I know who is the additional member here?
Viman's
Viman is not.
he's not our he's not our team.
All right. Okay.
Not in our team.
Right.
He's from
Okay.
53, I think.
All right. Okay. So question number 8. Back to question number 8. Make sure you. I'll show a small sample in that. Right? So question number 8 basically should be somewhat this. There's too much of like this is more than the limit, but like a half page of literature, right? This is totally taken from referring to literature that was in journals, right? So as you can see, it should be kind of this way, and you can state at the end that by this literature, we can prove that the alternative that was selected is the best among the alternatives, right? So that's one, and so make sure you do that, and it should be the same format like the marking rubric. Question number 8 should be marked, and the last 3 components elements should be marked, and meeting of minutes should be there, page number should be there, cover page should be there, and lastly the references should be there under question number 8, right? Question number 8 basically it should be 1 page, right, maximum. So make sure you do that. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go to the presentation for a moment, but make sure you submit the draft 8 to me today, right? So I will get back to you with the comment, right? So here, of course, this is okay. Grammar, there's an issue with the grammar, so make sure you double check grammar, or else like you can use the software. There's a software called Grammarly, Grammarly, Grammarly software, which corrects the grammar, right? So there is an add-in to Microsoft Word as well, so you can check that, right? So before sending submissions, you can do the grammatical check using that, right? So that's one. And what are the raw materials? This should be. Is this visible for y'all? The screen. Hello.
Yeah.
Right. So here, of course, in this we have to basically it should be quite similar to the draft that you have done, right? So you have to include the percentages if so, right? Percentages, and point out what are the renewables and non-renewables, right? So that's to this slide, right? So you have to change that. And here, of course, you can do a simple sentence explanation here on how these properties relates to the product, as you have done in the draft same way, right? So this is of course okay, but now I see this some of these data might have been taken from the internet. So make sure you include this when including a source, right? And including what you have taken, it should be more or less like this. You can copy the link, right? Copy the link reference, right? have a small text box here, and you can include those, right? And whatever link that was taken, right? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So make sure you do that. So here, of course, I have included comments throughout the document, like some of the slides I want, because those are quite satisfying. Here, of course, again, the grammar should be checked, right? And this is okay. Here, I see that this is a bit of more explanation than the expected, right? When you are presenting, it is really hard for you to get all these bullet points explained, right? Within 10 minutes, I don't think that will be a real challenge. So it's your duty to reduce this and more focus on the graphical side, right? Include this in more or less in the graphical way, right? Having presentation, having images, a graph, right? So here, of course, you can include the images and do the explanation orally, right? Actually, the main purpose of presentations is to express what you have done within the given time, right? So it will be a real challenge if you have this much of wording. So make sure you reduce that, right? And move on with more images. And this can be explained orally, right? So next, of course, similarly, this is quite okay. Better to make it somewhat more clear, right? Make it more clear and do check the grammar as well again, right? Discussion, of course, this part which includes in the presentation is morely into the discussion of the whole project, question 1 to question number 8. What you have done from question 1 to 8 should be summarized here. What are the aims that you had in starting this project? What are the difficulties that you had in doing this project? What are the things that you have overcome? Right. So, what are the final outcomes of this? Outcomes in the sense, question number 8. What are the? You can explain that. What is the alternative that was selected, and upon what concepts, upon what limitations was this selected? So those can be discussed in the discussion part, right? So in the next, of course, the conclusion. Again, the conclusion is from the start date of this project, like informing team and getting into workshops and all these can be mentioned, and what is the final outcome and is the final outcome achieved. So and the lastly, you can include a statement saying that the project outcomes was met successfully, right? A sentence of that including this would be really great, right? So those are the kind of things that are commonly done in presentations, right? And yeah, so you can see the comments here, and I see that you haven't done the referencing slide. So make sure to have the referencing slide, right? And last, you can have a thank you slide to thank everyone, right? Orally, you can thank everyone who has supported you throughout this project, right? And what you have learned. It's not mostly about the project here, but upon that, what you have gained from this project towards the next coming years, right? In making lab reports, in making presentations, and so forth, in documentation and stuff. What you have learned, what you have gained from this project. So you can mention those orally in the during the thank you slide, right? thanking everyone. So those are the things that I need to mention. Right? So I would thank everyone who did cooperate throughout this workshop. Right? It went out of some plans. Right? So there were some problems in between, but you have really again back into the normal track. Right? So that's okay. But make sure you send me the draft 8 so that I can approve that as well. Right?
Okay, sir. Thank you,
So
sir.
are you having any questions?
Everything's cleared up, so.
Right. Okay. If you have anything, please send me all the problems that you have encountered, or like what are the things that you need to clarify in one email, right? So that I can reply to you. But make sure don't send emails at the last moment, right? At least a day before, right? So that I have time to reply and you have time to correct. So this will be our last
Okay,
meeting, right? So thank you for the cooperation, and I wish you a good luck in future, right? Thank you very much.
thank
Take
you, sir.
care and have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Can I know who are present here in this session? Yes. Can I know who are the ones present here?
Senior WIA. Senior PS.
Okay. And
Malik Karuna 11 R&B.
who is this EN2040?
Karunadilakaran.
Okay. Is Sirisena and Sirisena is here?
Yeah, I'm
Right.
Duranjan Ravindu.
And last member?
He will be
Karen GK?
joined soon.
Okay, he'll be joining in the meantime. Okay, right. I'll go through the drafts again. I will go through the drafts here, right? And at the end of this session, I'll be emailing you all with the draft, right? So we'll get back to the question 8 here, right? So I see that done the marking here, okay. And the meeting of minutes is missing, right? The minutes of meeting is missing. Make sure you have that as well, right? Because this is a normal draft as we have done up to now, right? Can you all see the screen and can you all hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I hear.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
sir.
So question number 8, of course, here, before that, make sure you have the minutes of meeting, right? And question number 8, of course, is okay, right? But you haven't included that literature review. So this is mostly about literature review, right? I will show you a small draft, right? So this is how the question 8 should be. It is totally, it should be taken from journals and other references, and you have to have five references with 2 being journal papers, right? So make sure to have, no, there's no need of having diagrams or stuff, but what you have included is okay. So apart from that, you have to mention, you have to do the question 8 likewise, like this, right? So make sure to do that. And here I don't find references, so you have to include the references in the next page, right? So there is no need of submitting this again, but if you need me to check the question number 8 again, you may email this to me after correcting, right? So I will go to the question that you have submitted. So this is okay. It's quite attractive. So this is how the presentation actually should be. So it should attract the audience. It should be more graphical rather than wording, right? Because wording, of course, you will not be able to explain all this within 10 minutes, right? Even this workshop we do, it's really hard to get it done within 10 to 15 minutes, but we have to limit it. So make sure you go with graphical images, right? So here I have commented, right? In every slide, of course, I have comment, but some of the slides are really good, so I haven't commented there. So which needs improvement, I have included, commented. So here, of course, you need to vary, like you need to separate the inputs and outputs. Separating in the sense within the diagram, of course, you have to like you can color differently. You can color these boxes differently for inputs and outputs. You can color it differently, and at the end of those, you can include this color is for the inputs and this color was for the output, right? So this is morely to give the audience, give the viewer or the examiner a clear understanding of what you have done, right? Users, of course, okay. Here it's better if you can explain more like in the draft. What you have included images is okay, but quite a bit of explanation here, like maintain cost, high maintenance cost, right? Those stuff you can bit express like what you have done in the draft. Alternatives available, this is okay, this is okay, you have corrected, this is okay, and this is okay, right? But make sure if you, when you are presenting this, make sure you have to explain like what this equation is, what is P1, what is T1, what is L1. You have to clearly show, like going back to a slide even, going back to the previous slide even, or slides back, you can go back and show what is P1, T1 and L1. So this is to clear all the doubts and minimize the questions that will arise after the presentation. Like after presentation, normally there will be a question discussioning or a viva. It is called a viva. Like we will be asking questions on what is this and how did you get this. But explaining all the content that you have mentioned in the presentation will clear the doubts of the audience, and you will be on the safe side, like there will be less questions, right? So that is one, and the discussion of code, this is what actually needs to be done, right? Now, what you have done in question number 8, what you will be doing in question number 8, you have to have it here, as well as from question 1 to question number 8, throughout the project what you have done up to now, what were the outcomes, what were the objectives, what were the aims in this project, right? So what needed to be done at the end of the project? Is it like you can explain the question number 7 part as well, and question number 8. So these are the limitations and constraints that was filtered into this parameter, this alternative selection. So likewise, you can do the discussion. And lastly, in the conclusion part, you can include from question 1 to question number 8, and throughout the project, like from the start of this project, forming group and getting together and having a brainstorming session to what are the activities that you have done throughout, and so have you met the objectives. So at the last, you can include a statement that the project outcomes, once you have completed, the project outcomes were met successfully. The main outcome of this project was met successfully, right? So likewise, you can include that, and in the references, of course, you need to increase the font size a bit, right? This is quite less visible, right? So at last, you can include, after references, you can include a slide for thanking. Right? So you can include thank you there, and you can explain, like the one who is presenting that lecture at the end can thank the ones who have helped you, the things that in creating this presentation and making documents and recorrecting documents, and this is kind of gaining knowledge to all to proceed into the next year. So make sure you include all this, and thank who have supported you in like you will be learning, taking the most advantage of every module that you do, and at the end of 4th year and after the graduation, you will be having these in your pocket, and so that's what actually you will be building your career in this. So make sure to thank, right? So that's kind of an acknowledgement. Okay? So those are the things that I need to explain here, right? What you have done up to now is okay, right? So make the alteration, right? And if you have anything, state a clear email to me, right? So I would like to thank you all for cooperating with me throughout this workshop. So this is the last workshop, and we will not meet again in another workshop like this. So thank you all for coming, right? So thanks for cooperating. I wish you a good luck, right? And stay safe. Have a good day, right? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for
We have
introduction.
played
Thank
now.
you, sir.
Can play it now,
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
right? Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Is everyone here?
Yeah. No, most of them. There must be another one. There must be 2.
All right.
I think they are coming.
Yeah. Okay. So can you all know? Can you all let me know who are the ones present here?
Um.
Madhushan is present, right? Madhushan.
Yeah.
Vijayaratna?
Vijayaratna DD is myself.
Alright, okay.
Okay, Piris is here.
This one
And
Paranasuri is not there, right?
yeah, Vanusuri is here.
Paranasuri is here. Okay, alright, there's one more comment. Okay, everyone is here, right? Good. So we'll start the presentation workshop here, right? So starting on with the draft, right? Draft 8. Can you all see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, of course, starting with the market rubric, you haven't marked the last three as well as question number 8. We are here to do the question number 8, right?
Okay.
Okay, so make sure to remove this and only have the relevant marking. So this should be question number 8 as well here, right? And what you have done in question number 8 is like it should be mostly the literature review that you are going to do, right? You have to do the literature for all the alternatives that you have done, and for the entire project that you have referred to, right? You have to make sure to do a literature relating all the entire project, right? So basically, the alternatives that you have suggested and on how the best how you propose this the final product as the best, right? So in selecting this alternative, of course, you can mention that this was the one that was selected finally due to these limitations, due to these restrictions and aspects, right?
Okay.
So those are the things that you have to do in the question number 8, but it should be mostly literature review, right? So it should be like I'll show you the screen for that. So likewise, this is the sample, right? So simply it is kind of a text, right? So these are literature, pure literature that was done on journals, right? You may have to do only 2 journals, but other 3 you can have some other related material, right? So make sure you have that in here, right? And it should be only 1 page, right? And here, of course, you need to number the references, but it should be 5 references totally. Okay. So I see that there is no page numbering as well. So make sure you include page numbers, right? So this should not be submitted again, but this should be done for the purpose of getting your presentation and getting the question number 8 done properly in your presentation, right? For your presentation.
Okay.
Basically. So we'll move on to the presentation part. So this is okay, right? So the basic idea of doing a presentation is to express what you have done up to now, the entire project that you have done to the audience. So in addressing the audience, you have to make sure that every member in the audience, every Every person in the audience should understand what you are going to say and what will you be delivering. So reduce the number of explanations, right? But mostly you can explain through images. So do a graphical. No, this is okay. This is good, right? Here, of course, the introduction. Introduction, you need to explain what are the things that are asked in the introduction part. In the guidelines, you can see that what this project is, right? And introduction to the topic and why is this project done. So that should be done. That should be included in this slide, right? So then only the next slide comes. So in this slide, of course, the introduction. Go back to the guidelines and see the two uh, bullet points that are mentioned to discuss in the introduction. So do that, and this is okay. But here, of course, make sure you have included the what do you call the whether it is a non-renewable or renewable, you have to mention it here. Likewise, in the draft that you have done, right? Make sure you
Okay.
include it here. And the properties, of course, I see that there's a bit of spacing here after the properties title to the content. So don't leave such spaces, right? Now, for the things that you have taken from the internet, you can include a small source, right? Source in the sense, it is more or less like you can adjust this, right? You can adjust this, and this is how to insert captions in Word in presentation. What you have done, you can what you have taken, right? Source and whether it is a website, right? www dot things like that, or the source that you have done in the draft, which is kind of like a name. You can copy paste the in-text citation, right? 2020, right? You can copy paste it here, but make sure it should include the source, right? And it can be here or here. Okay,
Oh, okay.
right? So that's one. And here, of course, I commented that the inputs and outputs, right? I commented that you have to focus on the inputs and the outputs that you need. You have in this production flow, you have to include the inputs and outputs separately. Separately in the sense like better to like give the audience a different color for the inputs and different color for the output. Right? There are so
Oh,
many inputs like in the draft that you have done. There are so many inputs. You can include them in where it should be, right, in a different color, and you have to legend it. Legend in the sense you have at the end of at the last part of the slide here, this part, you can include the color and show that this color is for the input and this color is for the output. That's kind of a legend, right?
so, sir,
Yes.
can we go back to the previous slide?
Yes.
So we need to add what do you call that? Inputs for each section, if there are.
Yeah, you can. Yes. As similar to
Ah,
the draft, what you have done in the draft, you can have that here, right?
okay, okay. Oh,
So that's one, and applications are okay. This is good, and this is okay. Right? Extraction, manufacturing, usage, decomposition. So the alternatives are here. There should be 4 alternatives, right? we set to do 4 alternatives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will add
So,
another one. We will add
yeah.
another one.
But you have included in the draft, right? 4 alternatives.
I think there were 3.
This is true. But make sure in the draft as well you have to have 4.
Okay.
I can't
We will.
really remember. But make sure to have 4 alternatives, right? And in the 8th question, of course, no, not the 8th question, 7th question, you have selected the best from this, right?
Yeah.
So that is okay. That is quite effective, right? So this is the discussion part, right? So this should be discussion, right? This should be discussion, and what needs to be done in the discussion is basically you have to mention what you will be doing, right? Like what you have done up to now, from question 1 to question 8, and throughout the project, what you have done,
Uh-huh.
right? That is
Okay.
basically
So like
yeah.
so
And in
so
this
need so
part,
we need
yeah, come on, please.
so we need to add some kind of a paragraph, a little paragraph or something for this, for the discussion.
Yes, basically it should be somewhat from question number 1 to question number 8, and what you have done in question number 8, you can include that here. The literature part, right?
Okay.
Which I showed you before, like a small sentence, 2, 3 sentences, and the
Oh, okay,
discussion,
okay.
right? So make sure like to include like what are the limitations that were taken into consideration when selecting the question number 8. Like what I explained you in the question number 8 simply, you can include it here. And it should be mainly a discussion of the whole project, not the question number 8 or question number 7. It should address the entire project, right? So that's
Okay.
okay. And in the conclusion, of course, this is okay, but make sure to here as well include the project, like the starting from the project till the end, as well as in the discussion you can mention that. And in the conclusion part, of course, you can say that the final outcome of this project was to find the best alternative for such product, and you have found this product as the outcome. So with all the possibilities and with all the advantages, we can get the most out of this product, and we can at the end of this slide you can include that the main outcome, main purpose of this presentation, main outcome or main purpose of this project was met successfully, right? So that is the
Okay.
concluding statement, because we will not be doing another slide or another explanation after this. So this is the end of the whole project, right? And in the references, of course, you need to include the increase the font size, and better to include numbering rather than bullet form, right?
Okay.
Make sure to number them 1, 2, 3 rather than bullet form, right? So that's okay. And the thank you slide in here, of course, you can thank the ones who have supported you throughout this project, the group members, and what you have gained from this, the ones who have supported you to gain knowledge in this documentation and doing this presentation, and helping throughout the project, right? You can do a small thanking, but you do not need to write those, but you can explain it, like you can convey it orally during the presentation time, right? So overall performance is good, right? Uh, so that's what these are the things that I need to explain you, right? So if you have any doubts, you can like clear it now or through an email, right? But don't email me at the last moment. So
Okay.
I would like to thank you all for cooperating with me throughout this workshop series, right? From the start of the project till now, right?
Yeah,
So
thank you.
you have
Thank you.
like you have improved gradually, right? So we are having this last workshop here, and we'll not be coming up with another workshop. So I wish you a good luck in this, and hope you'll do the best, right? So thank you, and stay safe. Have a good day, right?
Thank you, sir, to
Thank you.
helping us
Thank you,
throughout
sir.
the
Thank
project.
you, sir.
Right, see you then.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Shall we share the screen starting with the attendance, right? Can I know who are the members present here? Hello.
Okay, sir.
I'm managing a WAV.
Okay. Others?
I am Dilshan RBPU.
I'm Peda PIS.
Sorry.
I'm
Say that
gonna
again.
I'm
Okay. Sumala.
I'm Gunawardhan.
Is he here?
Aloni is absent, sir.
All right. Okay. All right. Then we'll go to your draft for question number 8 first, right? So I see that what you have marked here. The also make sure like what you have submitted here. The cover sheet is of course, as I have commented earlier in the submission earlier draft. You still have to make this cover sheet correctly, right? You see, this is already scattered.
Mm.
The one that need to be at the top, at the middle, and what should be in one page is has exceeded one page, right? So make sure to do the formatting correctly again, right? And the submission date is not there, right?
Okay, sir.
So those are the things, and also what you have highlighted is this is for the question number 5, right? So the question number 8
Okay.
is this part. This is what you have to highlight, not this. Remove this, and this is what you
Okay,
have
sir.
to highlight, and the last 3 heading, right? Last 3 heading. Also, the question number 8. What you have done here, you have to start with the right question number, right? Or else this would be
Okay. Right.
pointless. Okay, so make sure this should be the right question number, and even like now after this submission, in the future submissions as well, before submitting a document like this, make sure you read it twice. Now this is a group submission and there are 5 members. So the probability of finding a fault is 5 times, right? So 5 members can go through it and check. So there is a probability of getting all the doubts identified, right? So before sending, make sure in your future submissions as well, make sure you go through it twice and see if there is any problem with it, right? So that's okay. And again, again here the limit of the page has exceeded, right? And question number 8 should be there here. And these of course here what you actually need to do is that from question number 1 to question number 8, question number 1 to question number 7, what you have done up to that, and what are the alternatives that you have mentioned, and all the things that should be mentioned in the question number 8. All these should be mentioned in the question number 8. So simply like what like this. Question number 8 is totally on literature review, which I have done a video and submitted on how to do the literature review, right? What you have done in question number 7, every group, question number 7 is not a proper literature review. Proper literature review in this sense, go to the video and see how to do the proper literature review. That is what question 8 is, right? So there should be 5 references, and 2 should be from journal, right? More the details that you have taken from journals is better, right? Rather than just referencing uh, uh, miscellaneous documents, right? So get to do the literature here, right? And this should be basically somewhat this, like this. So this is a literature review, proper literature review that was done for a sample, right? You can see the citation, text citation, and the content that are discussed. So similar way, you can have that. And make sure when you are doing a report like this, to format it into alignment justification so that it is quite clear and concise, right? And here the presentation in text citations, it shouldn't be like this. It should be for where you have taken. Like if you have taken it to this, this sentence was taken from this literature, you can include that citation within the text and before the full stop. And here as well, you can include this. If it was taken from this, you can include here, not at the end, right? Clear. So likewise, you can have that, and it should be 5 references, 5 literature areas done, right? 5 references, sorry, 5 references done. 2 should be from the journal, right? So here you can have, but make sure throughout the document you need to maintain a proper standard style, standard font size. It should be same throughout the document, right? Here now you can see this is quite small and this is quite big, the font size. So have that, and in all the topics that you mentioned, make sure you have to bold it and have the same color, right?
Okay.
So those are the things that you have to I have to discuss with you in the question number 8, and we will go to the presentation now. In the presentation, this is of course okay, right? I have included the comment. You have to explain like while you have gone through the guidelines that was given to you in the presentation introduction part, there's 2 bullet points mentioning that you have to include, like you have to introduce the project first, what this project is, and why is this project done. So you have to address those two problems in this slide. Make sure you address that in this slide. And starting with the first one, the ingredients, right? This is okay. The properties is okay. And here I see that this is quite jumbled. Now the ones who are the audience, actually you have to give the clear understanding to the audience within these 10 minutes. And if you, this is, I think, even you are feeling hard to explain this, right? Make sure to include a clear diagram, not from here and there.
Okay, sir.
Here and there will actually disturb the audience as well. Okay? So it should be, you should give the best focus into the audience. So make sure you clear this out, right? Clear this and make sure you have several steps mentioned in several stages, right? And this is okay, but make sure like in all these topics that you do, make sure to number them, right? Because there is a numbering in the guidelines as well. Follow that guideline and do it. So here I see that starting on with this slide, what you have included in these tables are a bit less, like the font size is low, like small. Make sure to increase the font size. This is too small, right? Increase the font size here as well. Increase the font size here. This is okay. Increase the font size here. Increase the font size here. And here as well, you have to increase the font size. And this is conclusion. Always make sure to check grammar, right? Conclusion. And here references as well. Better to increase the size, right? Better to increase the size. So that's it actually. In the thank you, of course, you can after that now you will be ending this within 10 minutes, right? At the end of the 10 minutes, you can like thank who have supported you throughout this project in meeting
Okay.
the objectives, right? And what you will be doing, right? What you have gained from this project, but you can thank them. Also in the discussion, of course, you have to include from the start to the end. Question number 1 to question number 8. What you have done. That's the overall discussion that you need to do, right? In discussion, and in the conclusion, you have to while increasing the font size, you have to include from start to like from the starting of this project, like creating teams, forming the teams, having discussions, attending the workshops, gaining knowledge, and at the end uh, was the outcome of this project. So the project aims of this task and this project was met. You can include a statement that the main objective of this presentation, the main objective of this project was met successfully. So likewise, you can have that, right? Please make sure to include that as well, right? So those are the things actually you need to refer to, right? So I would like to thank you all for cooperating with me throughout these sessions, right? It was a really hard time, I know, but attending these workshops and following all the instructions, communication, right? So having that done, so you have gained a lot from this project as well. So I would like to thank everyone and make sure to do a good presentation at the end, right? So wishing you a good luck for that, right? If you have any doubts, you can email me clearly, right, in one email, and I'll get back to you. But not in the last moment. Okay. So those are the things, and I would like to conclude this session now. All right. So thank you. Stay safe and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
We'll start with the attendance here. Yeah. So can I know who are the members present here?
Igodagama MR.
Madhvanta HPM.
Okay. Others?
And Asmodale HP is
Asmodale.
also.
Yes.
So those two are absent, right?
Yes, not yet here.
Okay, we'll start on with the workshop, right? So what you have submitted, going on to the draft that you have submitted, this is not the thing that I need, right? You all can see compared to previous draft what you have done. What is this document, right? You can do a comparison and see what you have done there and here. You don't have a cover sheet. You don't have a marking rubric, and the marking rubric should be marked as well. The question number 8 and the last three components, and the minutes of meeting is not there, right? And the references here, the question number is not here. The references here are not it's clearly listed, right? It should be numbered. So page numbers are not there. It's a single document, and this is not the question number 8 draft. So for this, of course, I cannot give you marks, right? So why is this? Just can you explain me why this is? Anyways, I will give you time till today, right? Before today night, you need to send the the correct document. And question number 8, simply you need to do it like this. Like this. It's a total literature review. Now, what you have done in question number 7 is not a proper literature review, but in this question 8, of course, you need to do a proper literature review around half a page or more, right? But it should be actually one page limited to one page, and the caption should be there. And make sure you need to refer at least 2 journals here, right? So this is briefly a literature review that you will be doing on the things and on the alternatives of all the alternatives and throughout the project that you have done. So this is overall literature review of the project, right? You can
Okay.
mention what are the alternatives and what are the advantages and disadvantages of the alternatives compared to literature review of them, and by what limitations, restrictions, or aspects you have selected the best alternative. So those should be actually proved and discussed using a literature review. So that's what it should be in question number 8. And make sure, as I mentioned, all the correct formatting as a draft document, as a draft submission. I'll give you the last chance. You need to send it today. As a correct draft, you need to send that this to me. Yeah. So this is
Through email, sir?
yeah, you know.
Okay, sir.
So the references should be, and also when having a title, make sure the title is bold and having the same color, right? Having the same color of the document, black color, right?
Okay.
So we'll go to the presentation now, right? So it's of course okay, right? Instruction is okay. Yeah. Now starting on with this, you have to mention the question numbers. Question numbers in the sense the format number. As in the term project guidelines, it is given that the first one is the raw material, the second one is the properties, right? So this should be actually
Okay,
in
sir.
2 slides, right?
Okay.
So likewise in the draft, you have to have it either copy pasted or created new tables in this each and every slide, right? Each and every question. So this is okay, but make sure you need to include the inputs and outputs separately. Right? You need to include like separately in the sense using a different color. Now what you have used here is light blue color. You can include, you can have the inputs in red color or orange color or green color, either anything, right?
Okay.
Mention that these are inputs and the outputs you can have a different color so that the audience actually can actually think that, oh, this is kind of a different flow diagram and it is quite clearly identified, identical, right? Clearly identical. So make sure that you give the audience to get this like like when you are presenting within the 10 minutes you cannot explain all these. That is
Yes.
not practical. So actually the audience will look into this while you will be explaining. You need
Yes.
to make font size big and clearly visible and more graphical. Graphical in the sense including images. You can give the audience a quick understanding at a glance, which means once they look at the slide, they should be able to understand it rather than you explaining all, right? So make sure you have that. So you have the question numbers as well here, right? This is quite okay, but I would recommend if you can have some images here. Always try to have images in presentations. That is really going to help you. Right here, of course, now I cannot read this within, actually, if you divide the time, the 10 minutes with the number of slides that you have, if it is 10 slides, you will have to have here, right? It's 10 minutes, so 1 minute per slide, right?
Yes.
If you have 10 slides, now you have to, within 1 minute, can you explain all these?
No.
No, right? So, and even the reader, even the audience cannot read this within 1 minute,
Yes.
right? So make sure to reduce number of words and include number of images. Increase the number of images. So the raw materials, what are the problems? You can include some images and just give the title like it is human carcinogenic. Alright,
Okay.
and petroleum, and you can have petroleum causes heavy air pollution, like a person coughing, and also you can show that from fumes from factories releasing like that.
Mm.
Right?
Okay.
A small sentence is enough. Sentence in the sense like 2-3 words is enough. Don't explain too much. Like right.
Okay,
The
sir.
draft of course is okay, but in the presentation, no, it's a time better, right?
Yes. Okay, sir.
So moving on to the next, there's the alternatives here. Same way here, it is bit hard to understand. Like at a glance, it is really hard to grab what you have said. So make sure to make sure to make it more effective. The next slide, the proposed alternative, of course, is okay, right? This is the question number 7 that you have done. But make sure here as well to reduce the number of wordings you have done,
Okay.
right? And you can orally explain it during the presentation, not by showing them in wording, right?
Okay, sir.
This is okay, but reduce a bit of wording here and there, right?
Mm.
So that's what. And in the discussion, of course, from the start of this project to the end, you have to include what you have done, and include what you have done in the question 1 to 8. You have selected this, and you have assessed the original product first. In the first 4, you have assessed the original product, and we are finding an alternative from question number 5, question number 7. We are seeking the alternative. So in the alternative, we did find the what do you call the problems first, and then suggested the alternative. So in question number 8, basically, as I said before in the draft, you can have the question number 8 here as well, including
Yes.
and question number 8 in between, right? So in that, of course, you need to explain what was done, and for all the alternatives, you can mention all the alternatives, and show that why was this good rather than others. You can compare them and do a small discussion, right, within 1-2 slides. Right, you can include the improve this presentation by increasing the number of slides. Right?
Yes.
So actually, this is more like you need to have more spaces, right? Not large spaces, more spaces and more images and short term and more quick, more attraction, right? So that's what you need to do. And in the conclusion, of course, from start of this term project, creating teams, room gathering, workshops, what you have learned from this, what you have gained from this project, what will you be applying for the future work in this project, from this project, right? So have a brief in the conclusion area, and at the end of the conclusion, you can include that you have done this project, like you have objectives of this project, and the objectives are met successfully. You can
Yes.
conclude it like that, right? So in the last one, of course, you need the reference. Now here, of course, I cannot see, this is not visible, right? So make sure to include this size here, right? Increase the size here,
Okay.
and at the end you can have a thank you slide,
Okay.
and you can orally, when presenting, you can thank all the or everyone who has supported you throughout,
Yes.
and supported in the sense not on to this project itself, out of this project, what you have learned, what will you be taking out to the next year, right? So it is the knowledge and learning, and how to draft, how to make a document, how what proper formatting, how what presentation is done. So you can include all those things and clients who have done it, who have helped you, right? So those are the things actually that needs to be mentioned here. If you have any doubts, you may email me clearly in one email, right? And but make sure today you need to submit the draft 8, right?
Yes.
Before today end, you need to submit that. And those are the things actually up to now that you have done really good in throughout these workshops, right? With the situations arising up and changing schedules and stuff, you have adapted to those in short time. So I would like to thank for that, and
Thank you, sir.
thank you for cooperating throughout these workshops and doing good communication with me, right? So I wish you good luck, right? Do this presentation to the maximum. So this will be the last thing that we will be doing in this project, and this is the last workshop we are doing. So thank you all for joining, right? Have a good day and take care.
Thank you, viewers. So I have a question.
Yes.
So the presentation, all the members should present, or is it only one?
I for my groups, of course, I recommend every member should present, because like in future you will be going on to do many presentations, right?
Okay.
There will be around 10 presentations throughout the years until you graduate. So this is kind of a basic step into the next year, right?
Yes.
So
Okay.
take the most out of this. Like this is the opportunity that you get, right? Because like we'll be not that strict in presentation looking, right? Examining. So this is the chance for you to get self-confidence, right? Everyone should perform. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very
Right.
much.
Okay then. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.
So good morning. Good afternoon. Sorry. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So you didn't send me the draft, right?
We sent you, sir.
You sent me in the last moment, right? After I emailed you, you said. I have said you before to send it, right? So that is not going to do. You have to respond to me, and you have to do the communication because this is a short. Actually, this is a short time, and this is a hard time for everyone, right? So I'll not be there every time to check and mark your draw. So it should be, if I have given a time, I'll be working on that time, and I'll be supporting the best out of during that time. So make sure you get the benefit of it, right? So, can I know who are the members present here? Everyone is present, right?
Me, Vaishan,
All are
Ashwin,
present.
Devanan, yeah, all are present.
Right. So we'll go to the draft question number 8. Actually, starting with this is question number 8 draft, right? Question number 8 draft, and the marking, it should not be this. This is for question number 5, and this is for question number 7. This is the question number 8, and these 3 is marked. Okay, right? So Do a brief literature survey and show the proposed alternative. So this is not done. Yes, guys, come on. How is this? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, why haven't you done? Now this is this week's submission. I cannot give you marks now. What can I do?
The, sir, we are extremely sorry, sir. We made a mistake.
Why is that?
Like we sent you the wrong file.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, share the screen what you have done. Just share the screen. I'm waiting for you.
Yes, sir. I'm using it through the. I'm using the Zoom app through my mobile. So.
So isn't the document in the mobile?
No, in my lap.
Okay. Okay, till you because like we have no time for such a gathering. Till you open it up, right? I'll go through the presentation that you have done, right? So we'll keep this aside for a moment and we'll go to the presentation that you have done. So the presentation, of course, can you all see this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, so this, of course, this is okay, right? In the production, in the introduction, right? Introduction, it should be give a brief introduction for the topic and explain the project. So I see that you have done that good, right? It is okay. Right? This is quite acceptable, right? So in coming on to the ingredients and properties, how it's made and used. Ingredients is also okay, right? And this is okay, but this there is some doubt in here. When you are presenting such during presentation, it is only 10 minutes that you have given, right? So within the 10 minutes, is it possible for you all to explain all the? Because you have 23 slides as well. You have to actually have around half a minute or less than half a minute to one slide. So within
Yes, sir.
such a time, can you explain this part? No, right? So it is much like you can reduce the wordings a bit. Don't include much of sentence because the audience as well, they need to grab this at a glance. Once they see the presentation, they should be able to get what you are going to say out of this, right? So make sure you reduce a bit of the wordings here, right? Not only here, but throughout the presentation. In every presentation that you are going to do, make it more visible, like big size, big font size, bold, and attractive using of images, right? All these should be mentioned. All these should be taken into consideration in future submissions, right? And
Okay, sure, sir.
this, of course, this is quite okay. I see that this part is quite satisfying. But make sure throughout this project, the numbering should be better to have the numbering at the left side corner, top left side corner. Question number 3, question number 2, question number 1. Better to have it at the right end, like this.
Okay. Sure,
Right?
sir. We'll consider.
And in the next, so this is okay, the continuation, right? So you can include that, like you can introduce that this is the continuation of the previous question, right? And here how it
So
is
we
made. This should be
so
actually the correct topic should be here, right? Okay. Yes, please.
so should we include both of these process manufacturing in this under these topics?
You can include, that's fine. If you are ready to explain, you can include, that's fine.
Yeah, sir, but how it is made is like only the reverse hand, right? So why should we include the manufacturing process of M-SAN, sir?
Sorry?
So the question is how is made is only the manufacturing process of reverse hand, right, sir? So
yes.
why should we include the process of M-SAN, sir? Like how M-SAN is manufactured?
So this is what you have included, right? Not me.
Yes, sir. Like under the sample also, sir, both of these processes are there. So question says it's only reverse hand, but in the sample, like both of these were there, sir.
In the sample in the sense?
So the sample which was uploaded in the post web, sir, for questions 1 to 4, like we got ideas from that, sir, in order to make this. So it had also both of these under the topic how it is made.
No, actually, this is kind of the same thing, right? This is not much of a difference. This is quite briefing of the before diagram, right? Right. What is the difference of this?
Yeah, so like this is explaining, the first slide is explaining how the M-SAN is manufactured, right, sir, in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And the second slide is been explaining how the mining process takes place in taking the reverse answer.
Yes. So in the reverse hand, of course, what you have asked is to mention the reverse hand, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in this case, of course, I'll get back to you through an email, right? Clearing this. And also, I need the contact of yours. One of yours.
Yes.
Email me or text me contact so that I can like if there's anything, because like when I reply to an email, I do get replies from y'all very lately, right? So to respond to this, now we have less time actually, so we need to do this as soon as possible, right? So
yes,
anyways, I'll confirm this, right? Okay, I'll get back to you through an email, right? And also the users here, again here, reduce the number of slides. Reduce the number of text, and only have simple sentence and a image. Right? A phrase would be fine, and images would be really great to the presentation. Here, of course, small font size is really hard to read, so increase the bit of the size, right? Increase the size a bit. And here as well, when you're continuing such a slide and the slide number is not here, question number is not here, you need to, when you're continuing a question number, you need to say that this is the continuation, CONTD dot question number 2 or question number 1, anything, right? So have that, and do not exceed the slide limit, right? You can include, you can cut this and have another slide in between. Okay, so come up with such modifications, alternatives available. You can include some more images, right, of all these alternatives you have mentioned, and yeah. So in this, of course, so will you be able to do this presentation within 10 minutes? I think you need to reject some slides here, remove some slides. This part actually no need. You can explain them orally. Right? Having too much detailing will end up you having a penalty of exceeding the time. It should be 10 minutes somehow rather. Right? So make sure to
Okay,
go
sir.
through that and this as well. It is too much. That is the proposed alternative here as well. It is really hard for the viewer or the audience to read everything, right? And it is hard to read. Yeah, this is too much of wording. Reduce the wordings as much as possible. Here again, it's wording. Reduce wording. And in the discussion part, it is question number 8, and it should discuss throughout the project what you have done, right? From question 1 to question number 8, what are the things that were discussed, what were the things that were assessed. In the first 4 questions, you assessed the original product, and from the question 5, and from question 5 to the last question 8, you did question 7, you did assessing the final product or the alternative product that you suggested. So you can include that. And in the literature review part, you can include that. So it should be a must that you should include the literature reviewing. So include those everything in this part, right? And it can be actually any number of slides. Okay, so that's fine, but make sure you limit up to some slides so that it is it is able to be done within a 10-minute time frame, right? So literature review should be here as well, like on how the alternatives were filtered and how the best product was selected, right? Likewise in the question 7, in the question 8, it should be mentioned what are the limitations, what are the parameters, what are the aspects that were considered in finding the best alternative. So those can be supported with the literature review, right? It should be 5 references, 2 should be from paper journal. But in the conclusion, of
Okay.
course, in this project, all right, this is good. This is good, but reduce the number of words, right? And finally, after this part, after this, you can include that the outcomes of this project was met successfully. You can end the conclusion with that, right? Conclude. So
Okay.
here, of course, the references, this is okay, right? Have a bit of spacing in between, right? This is quite bit jumbled. Have a bit of spacing, right? And please do number the references 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Do not bullet
Sure,
form,
sir.
right?
Okay,
So those
sure,
are the
sir.
things actually you need to do and come up, right? So I hope you will be somehow like your group is bit lagging at the moment. I hope you will, because I need every group of mine to accomplish this task successfully, right? So
So we can share the question X, sir.
no, you may email it to me now, because like almost 5 minutes I have passed. Right now the next
Okay,
group
sure.
looking
Okay,
forward
okay,
to
okay,
their session, right? So
okay, sir. Okay.
anyways, email me along with the contact number of yours, right?
Sure, sir.
So those are the things that I need to explain. So thank you for cooperating throughout this workshop sessions, and it was really a hard time, I know, right? It was really challenging, but somehow you came across, right? So I appreciate that. And if you have anything to clear out, make sure you email me clearly, right? And Bevan, I need to warn you that you have sent me the draft, but I did not check because you did not proper address me. It was just the document, right? And that I have warned you before not to send such email. I will not be assessing such emails, right? You did the same thing again and again. So in that case, even I will not be replying. Even any of the staff will not be replying for such emails. You have to address what your group number is, who you are, and you have to thank and you have to respect. The respect is the most important thing in learning, right? It is not a friends discussion here, right? So that respect should be given. I warn you, Bevan. This should not be done in future. You will be get scolded back. Okay.
Sorry,
So
sir.
make
Yes, sir.
sure to learn. Like these are actually learning to life lessons. Get the practice actually, right? Okay. So thank you for joining
Sure,
and
sir.
hope you email me with contact number as well so that we'll discuss and clarify the issues if you have any before it's only 3 days left for your final submission, right? But make sure to send a proper email and not at the last moment, right? There is time, send it as soon as possible if you have any doubts. So thank you, stay safe, and have
Thank
a
you,
good
sir.
day.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So can I know who are the members present here? Malaysia is here, right? Ahmed is here. Is Dinesh here? Hello.
Sorry, sir.
Is Dinesh here?
Hello.
Can you please let me know who is this member here?
I'm the group leader.
Hello. Hello. Is Malaysia? Hello.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you let me know Dinesh is Dinesh here?
Sorry, sir.
Is Dinesh here? Can you see the screen?
Dinesh. Dinesh is wait.
Not here. He's not here, right?
Yeah, he's not here.
Okay, right. Okay, for your answers, we'll get into your answers. Question number 8, right? Here, of course, I see that we have yet again there's an issue with the cover sheet. This part is from the cover sheet, and it should be taken up. So make sure before sending submission, before submitting such, make sure you have already done the formatting and check with all the group members, right? Everyone should check whether this report is done. So make sure you format it, right? So yes, the last four is okay. We have marked it, and in each of presentation it should be in a separate page. The picture review, you should right. I see
Yes, sir.
that
Excuse me, sir, we send it after formatting, sir, but after submitting, it's again coming from, it's again falling in the this form. The correct form is not coming, sir. But when submitting the document, when I am seeing the document, it was okay. But after submitting, these errors are coming, sir. And
correct.
next time, make sure that.
So anyways, when you are doing a PDF, when you are converting it to the PDF and in the assignment, of course, assignment 2, make sure you double check it, right? And coming on to the literature review, it should be reason of literacy. Okay. And this is question number 8. Always the question number should be there, right? And the correct topic should be there. The title is not this, right? So make sure you have that. And here, of course, in question number 8, we are mostly focusing on what we have done now. This is quite okay, right? But I see that the font color is different, right? Make sure you have a steady font color throughout the document, right?
Okay.
And here, so have you referred the paper, journal?
Yes, sir. I think the 3 references are from papers.
Okay. So have 3 references from papers and another 2 references from miscellaneous or other documents, right? So this is a good work, right? So your group has done this question number 8 quite reasonably. But make sure, yes, make sure in this, of course, within this, you need to bit of explain what you have done from question number 1 to question number 7, right? So this is about like the alternatives, what are the limitations, aspects, parameters, and other stuff that we have considered in putting up the best alternative, right? You can mention that, okay? So make sure you do that as well, right? And so don't exceed the page limit. It should be 1 limit, right? 1 page limit. So those are the things actually, and here it should be 5 references. But overall, this is a good performance, really good, right? I appreciate your work. So we'll move on to the presentation then, right? So do the minor changes in that document, right?
Okay.
In the presentation, of course, this is okay. Introduction, why this project is important, ingredients. Okay, now in this case, ingredients of the product. It should be ingredients of the product. The same title that was given in the draft, right? Make sure you have that and the question number. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay, then here as well it should be the same. Right. Here I see that this is quite a small font, right? So you have to increase the font size. Okay. Increase the font size so that actually the presentation, the meaning of this presentation is that you have to get the audience attracted to your presentation make them have like a clear idea of what you are going to present, right? So in this case, of course, you can input part. The first input stages, you can highlight them differently. Not in blue color, you can not in gray color, you can highlight them differently, and the outputs, of course, you can highlight them in a different color. Okay, that is to vary input and output. And have a legend, mention legend in the sense the color code, and then mentioning this color was used for input, this color was used for, this color was for output. Right? And users and applications, I would prefer you need to have 4 applications here, right? There should be 4 applications. And here it is okay. Increase the font size a bit and use here as well. It's better if you can use images for extraction of raw materials. What are the problems? Destroying, cutting down trees for land sites, right? And the pollution, air pollution, and sort of something like that, right? So you have done here. You can include in this slide as well, right? So this is okay. Alternatives available. Okay, this is okay. So the proposed alternative, you can use the image of the clay pot here as well, right?
Yes.
To give the audience a good understanding of that. Discussion part, as I said before, that this is we should actually what this should be actually it should be mentioned from question 1 to 8 to question 1 to 7 what you have done. It is the total addressing of the project, right?
Okay.
So make sure you do that and include yeah. So basically question number 8 and the discussion of the whole project can be included here. Okay. The conclusion part.
So is that has to be in a bullet form or just like a paras?
Bullet form is okay. That's fine. Right?
Okay.
Because in presentations, of course, you need to reduce much of the wording and include much of graphical representation with short wording. Right?
Okay. Okay.
Right. Okay. Then going on to the next one. Conclusion. This is okay, but this also should mention from question 1 to question 8 throughout the project, forming the team, having gatherings, having workshops, what you have gained, what you have come across, what were the problems that you came across. You need to mention all, right?
Okay.
And at last you can mention that the outcomes of this project was met successfully, right? You can mention that the outcomes of this project was met successfully at the last sentence, as the last sentence. Right, so those are the things here, and preferences. You need to increase the font size. Okay, increase your font size a bit. So, and at the end, you need to include a thank you. That is quite common in presentation. You need to include the thank you slide. Just a slide with the thank you. You can orally, when you explain, when you're presenting, you can thank who has supported you for this project and who have gained, if you molded your knowledge in future documents, right? Now, what you have learned here, you will be applying that for future presentations, future documentation, future assignments, future lab reports, likewise. So make sure to acknowledge everyone who has supported you, even the group members, right? The contribution and stuff. So that's what I have to explain here, and that's what I need to mention. I would like to thank you all for cooperating throughout this workshop, even though the current situation was really challenging. Right? You have come up with the communication, you have attended the workshop, so I would really thank you all for cooperating with me, right, as the mentoring group under me. I would like to thank each and every one of you, right? So thank you very much. If you have any problems, you may email in one email, right, with the contact number as well. But make sure not to email me at the last moment, because I will not be able to help you all at the last moment, and you will not be able to correct it at the last moment, right? So make sure to do likewise. So thank you. Have a nice day and stay safe. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Is everyone present here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. We'll go to your submissions now. The draft 8. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
So having this, so seeing that you have done this, okay, the marking has been done. So I have noticed in all your submissions that you have included the margin quite bit long, right? If margin, of course, you have to go to the layout and just create the margins that are suggested by the guidelines, right? This is too much of spacing. Okay, so have an eye on that. In the meantime, question number 8 is about it is mostly about the total project, right? The the, the things, the alternatives, the from the first stages, first 4 stages, assessing the original product, and from the fifth step to the last step, we'll be assessing the proposed product, right? Selected product. So proposed alternatives, of course. So in this case, in question number 8, of course, you need to actually address address all the alternatives and give a proper literature review to prove that the final product of yours is quite similar to the original product, and it has the same performance as the original product. Also, it was selected the best as according to such limitations and filtering. So we have to mention that. So what are the specs, what are the parameters, what are the limitations, restrictions that were taken into action, considered in getting the final product. Quite similar to the question number 7 stage, but in this you need to do that with the literature for question alternative 1, literature for alternative 2, ensure that the proposed the best alternative using, you have to prove that using the literature review. So this is quite okay. You have done a literature. You say that you have done a literature, but make sure that you will explain a bit more than this. This is quite less descriptive, right? Think include more descriptions, right? And it should be right here. Right? There's space for it. So do some more explanation for each bullet point, right? Bullet point. So question number 8 is from, as I said, from question 1 to 7, what you have done and what are the alternatives, you choosing what are the things that you encountered and what are the things that you have taken into consideration in future product. So the references in the next page, you can do the margining again, right? Okay. Yeah. So if you have done the margining, it will go this much, right? Anyways, it should be limited to one page. Okay. So somehow references are okay, but make sure you number the references in this as well as in the present. So those are the things that you have mistaken in this. Right? We will go to the presentation. Substantial substitute for inorganic concrete. Yeah, this is quite interesting. Right? It is better if you can include the slide numbers here. Slide 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Not in this, starting from this. Slide number 1.
Okay.
Right? So that even the audience, like when they are reading this, they know they are referring to. If we go back to this, and if you need to go back into slide number 1, right? You can ask the presenter to go back to slide number 1. Now, if it is a middle number, if it is a number in the middle, you have to again go up and read 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But if it is there in the slide number, this slide number is there, it is really easy for you all to listen, right? So yeah, here you need to mention two. You need to mention two problems. Actually, what introduction to the topic should be there here, as well as what this project is. Okay. So there should be two slides or two question answers, right? The contents are okay. This is quite okay, but make sure in the ingredients you need to mention the percentages like in the draft, as well as is it renewable or non-renewable. Okay. So there is one, and properties of concrete as well. You can show the properties of concrete, but you have to mention how it will affect the concrete. Configuration, how it will affect the
Need it
concrete.
that next slide.
Yeah. All right. This is okay. All right. Good. Here. All right. That's quite fine. Okay. Anyways, you have to explain this within the 10 minutes. So make sure you don't exceed the time frame. Okay. So this is really good. I was really expecting this. Right. You can include the input in a different color and output in another color. So this is really good.
Okay.
Right? So what are the outputs? There can be harmful gases and stuff. Harmful gases, waste. You can include with another different color the output. Please make sure to arrange it here. And here uses and application. This is okay, good. Life cycle stages. Okay, this is good. make sure to reduce number of wording and increase number of images. Okay.
Okay.
As well, what this is quite more explanation. These is 3 slides. This is okay. But here, of course, there's too much of explanation. But if you can manage to explain everything in this within the short time, that is okay. Okay. Evidence, of course, evidence how a product is equal to the original product in performance. Here's if we can increase the font size a bit, increase the font size and reduce the number of content. Anyways, if you can explain here as well, if you can explain, that is up to you. You can do it. Okay. So these are the references. Yeah. Now this is not visible. The font size should be there. Right? Font should be increased.
Okay.
Right. So those are the problems actually you need to address. And in this, thank you can explain or like you can present who contributed to your project, even the group members. You can thank everyone and the staff who like guided you throughout this project from the start till the end. And one more in the discussion part. So can I know where the discussion is? Discussion and conclusion is not there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Include both, discussion and conclusion. Conclusion, of course, you need to conclusion slide. You need to mention from the start of this project, right? So when in groups, get having gatherings, having mentor meetings, workshops, right? So the things that were contributed all can be mentioned in the conclusion, and at the end of the conclusion part, you need to state that the final task, the main goal of this task or the assignment, main goal of this project was achieved successfully, right? As to make sure that you have done this project and completed from here. So that is what conclusion means. And in the discussion, of course, you need to again refer to question 1 to 8, question 1 to 7, and including the question 8 as well. You can do a small discussion on page 1 slide or 2 slide discussion on what were the things that were done throughout the project and how did you come up with alternative solutions, how was it done, and likewise, right? So along with the question 8 that will be done in the draft. That is done in the draft. So you need to mention all those stuff, and those are the things actually that you need to do here. Minor changes, overall a good performance, right? So this is our last workshop, so I wish you a good luck in having this final submission, right? So do a good presentation, and I would thank you for cooperating throughout this session. Throughout this session, we had around 4 to 5 sessions, so cooperating with that, having good communications in between, and I know it's really challenging to work at home, like doing work and not communicating through email was actually a bit of a struggle and challenge, but anyways, you have overcome all those things. You have learned out of that, right? You got the most out of it, but make sure to apply them in the future work and future years. So take the benefit of this project and teaching, right? So I thank every one of you for cooperation. If you have any problems, you may email me separately in a clear email, right? But not at the last moment, right? So make sure you email before if you have any clarification that you need to be done. So thank you very much. Have a good day and stay safe. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Before starting, we'll go to the attendance first. So,
Yeah.
is everyone present here? No, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Not everyone. I think one is absent.
All right. Who is absent?
Assistant present. Wait, let me see. I think he will be coming now.
Okay. Anyways, who are present
to
now?
join.
Up to now.
Bandara RMKK present.
Okay.
Madurangi MMHA present.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madurangi HA present.
Who are present?
Not yet, I think.
Okay. The others are present, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when is there, please let me know. Okay. So we'll go to the draft 8 first. So this is good. Okay. I've done good. Literature part. Yeah. This is okay. But make sure have the correct title here. In the instructions as well, the title is different, right? It's not literature review.
Yeah.
The title, you have to make sure you have the correct title here. And this is, of course, have you referred paper?
Yeah, some journals online.
All right, okay. So this actually question number 8, what you have done is okay, really good. Okay. And this small thing. So this, what you have included these bullet points are like keep increasing the size. It should be one size, right? So I see that this bullet point is quite different than the other. So make sure to maintain a constant format and constant style and size throughout the document. Then do not exit the page. It should be one page, right?
Yeah.
So with that, what question 8 means, I will explain what question 8 means. It is mostly the things that you have done up to now. Throughout the entire project, what you have done, it should be explaining question 8. So, and it is actually to be proved by a literature. That is why we are asking to do a literature review. So, here, in throughout the project, what you have done is that you have found out around 4 alternatives and selected the best out of it. So, in getting the alternatives, how did you get the alternatives? In getting the alternatives, you can explain what were the alternatives and what were the alternatives were mentioned in the question number 7, question number 6 and 7. In question number 8, of course, you need to mention what were the limitations and parameters that you took in order to remove the rest of the alternatives and find the best. It is simply you have to prove that what you have selected was depending on this criteria. You selected the best alternative, and the best alternative is can be proved that it has the same as the original product. Okay, has the same same parameters and properties as the same original product. So that should be supported with the literature review. Within those
Yeah.
texts, you need to
So
support the literature review. Yes.
yeah, I have done. I think that's what I have done here. So we can include this in the report, right?
Yeah. This is okay. It's quite interesting,
Yeah.
right? But make sure like with
Point sizes and all.
yeah, point sizes and what I explained now as the alternatives and what are the things that took into filtering of the best to filter the best alternative, right?
Okay, sure.
So those are the things actually in this references is okay, but have the same font size. Now I see this is a different font size and this is another font size. Okay, have the same font size throughout this document. Okay, so we'll go to the presentation. This here there is a small overlapping here, so do not make overlaps here.
I think that's because of the font. I have included some other font. I think this is not the font I applied here, so
all right,
I think that's a problem.
Okay. Anyways, if you have such issues, you can have this.
Yeah, maybe I'll image the file and make a new presentation with this.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can just do the small alterations, like moving off this.
No, the thing is, I can't see those amendments in my one because I had the font.
All right. Okay. Anyways, make sure do not overlap, right? So when you're continuing when you're continuing such a presentation slide, make sure, like I do a small sample here. Make sure to type this continue in CE1912. But this means that you are continuing the previous topic in this slide as well, right? Don't just put the slide, right?
Okay.
Have CONTD, right? It mentions that it gives an idea to the audience that you are continuing the same previous slide into this. Okay. Or else if you have forgotten the topic, it might be not relating to the previous one and the audience might get confused. So make sure always to have that. And here, of course, you have this. Better if you can have the borders of the cells to make just have this image with the borders with clear, because I don't see that I see every element in here is like one thing, one element. I separate them by borders, right?
Okay.
This is again grown up out of the slide. Right?
Yeah, I made it because
so you can have
that's because of the font.
Yeah, if so you can have two slides, right? So that's up to you. Right? This is okay. Product. What is the problem with this product? Okay. Better if you can have some include images here and there. Here
yeah.
or here, you can include images of what are the issues that I'd always check on the formatting, right? So actually you can include, because like the presentation, the meaning of doing a presentation is mostly you need to deliver the audience the understanding and the you have to express it. Actually, you have to express what you have done throughout. It is a matter of expressing what you have done throughout this project, right? So make sure to have more images rather than words, right? This is okay, but include more images so that it is really clear, right? When we actually look at the TV. Like it is really easy to grab up the news from a TV rather than looking at a newspaper, right? So
Yeah.
likewise, similarly, it is what we are doing here. Right? So here, what are the alternatives available? We as well separate the borders, right? I see it has the same cell. It should be separated with the borders clearly. And yeah. Oh, there is a small problem here. Alternatives available. In this, yeah, alternative, what you actually need to do is, there's a small problem in the draft as well of the alternative. I did comment this in the last workshop, and you haven't referred that. The alternatives available, it should actually be only one alternative. The problems can be many problems. The problems should be next to the alternative, right? The alternatives available should be here. It's only one alternative.
So we have to.
Actually, wait, I'll show you the sample. Right, it will be really clear for you then.
We did it, I think.
Huh? Yeah, you all did that.
I think we did it.
Yeah,
I
you
have
all did.
included the old report.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Because I remember that I have explained you in quite a bit of a time what actually needs to be done. Wait, I'll show you here. This is the one which you need to do. Actually, the alternative, whether it's alternative to raw material or alternative to production, and the alternative solutions. Alternative solutions in the sense one solution per alternative. Right? There can't be so many alternatives. It's only one alternative. Whether it's anyways, anything like that. So it should be only one alternative, and the problems can be many problems, right? As mentioned in the question number 5, it can be many problems which will be addressed by having this alternative. So it should be basically this format. Have this format, okay?
Okay.
So it could be either one of the alternative in each step, right? And here, that's fine. Of course, that will be cleared now. Here as well, this table is wrong. This table is wrong, right? So having that, include the new table, right?
Yeah.
And the proposed alternative. Yes, well, select. Yeah, this is okay. Using soil stabilizers instead of forensic. Use images. Better use images.
Okay.
Correct? Better use images and have a bit of spacing because like this wording is too much. Actually, I feel that this is really hard to read, right? And within 10 minutes, it's really hard. If you divide 20 slides out of 10 minutes, it would be around like you will be getting half a time, I think half a minute to present one slide, right? So it is so it will be really challenging for you. So make sure to reduce the number of wordings and increase the number of images that you represent, right?
Okay.
Discussion, of course, as I said before in the draft, question 8 should be from question number 1 to question number 7 what you have done, and the entire project should be addressed here. What were the things that were covered from question number 1 to 4? It was the original product processes, and question number 5 to question number 7, 8. It was the question number 7. Question number 4, 5 to 7. It was the alternative that was by us, and so likewise you can explain that, right? And in
So
the conclusion,
do we have to include them in the discussion slide?
Yes, you have to include them.
What we did previously. So do I have to cut these things from the discussion?
No, reduce the number of wording and have another two, three bullet forms mentioning all the things that
like a
were
summary.
done in the yes, the summary, small summary. Even one sentence would be fine. Okay. So this is okay. What you have presented is okay. Now you can reduce the font size here, right? Reduces the font size a bit, and you get another space to have 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the conclusion, of course, now discussion is done. Conclusion, you have to make sure what were the things that you did at the start of the project, right? Creating a team, right? Creating a team, having gatherings, brainstorming sessions, having attending workshops. What are the things that you have overcome? What are the problems that you faced during this project throughout the semester, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you have to mention that as well. And in the conclusion, what you have mentioned here is okay. In this is quite question 8 actually, what you have mentioned. So this should not be in the. This is okay, but include what I did say now as well. Right, and at the last end of the conclusion, last note, as a note, you can say that the objectives of this, the outcomes of this project was met. Outcomes of this project was met successfully, right? The goal of this project was met successfully, or either anything, right? To make sure that this is the last slide you will be present throughout for the whole presentation, and we will not be doing another presentation here or any task of this project. So this is the concluding. This is the end of the whole term project. So here you need to mention you have met the objective, achieved the objective successfully, and you will be achieve the things successfully, right? Meeting objectives and gaining knowledge, right? So all things can be included here. So in the before the thank you should be after references, right? So here references should be. Please consider this reference. This should be revised again. This reference. The reference should be done again, right?
Okay.
Right, and here references better to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And increase the font size
in the references. Okay.
Yeah. You can actually have another slide as well and include half here and half there, right, with spaces.
Okay.
Right, so now around this font that would be visible. And thank you. In the thank you, of course, you can thank your group member, mentor, the lecturer who has guided throughout this project, who has gained you knowledge in going to the second year, right? In going into the second semester. Now, what you learned actually, you learned about referencing, how to create a document, how to format, all the guidelines, all the workshop hard work within this time frame, all the challenges actually. We had live workshops and we had to shift to online workshops as well. In that case, of course, everyone did cooperate in taking in getting this work done, right? So meeting the objective successfully. So we all have contributed for that. So you can mention, like, you have to have this slide, but orally you have to mention that. You have to thank everyone as an acknowledgement. No need to write here, but just to mention thanks. That is an acknowledgement. That is a gratitude, respect that you put towards your seniors and all your group members and all your staff members, right? So make sure to do that as well. And this is the things that you need to do. Actually, if you have any doubts, you can email me. Alright?
Yeah.
Email me and I'll send one email, but not at the last moment. Okay? Make sure
Okay,
you
sure.
email before that because like you have only 3 days to do the submission.
So
Yes.
in the presentation, what we have to do is like we have to screen. We are going to do it through Zoom and do a screen recording.
Okay.
So what we have to do is one can share the screen while recording, then the others have to present. That's it, right?
Yes. Yes. Basically, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Right?
We
Now,
need not
now
to.
if you are presenting,
Yeah.
you can introduce the group first. Okay. Then when you have introduced, now think I'm one of your group members and I'm the one who is doing the last bit of the presentation. Actually, the one who is doing the last bit of presentation can shift this, can share the screen actually, right?
Yeah.
So imagine Lianake TD is controlling the presentation. Now, Bandara is Kevin is presenting. Yeah, Kevin says that. Okay, introduction. This is the introduction. Hello, welcoming you all. These are my group members. So we are from group 62, and our topic is a substitute for burn brick. Now, followingly, for the next slide, when you say that, DNA should shift to the next. So these are the contents, and we will be following one by one each in the coming up slides. So then you have to shift the slide again, right?
Yeah.
But make sure you have to put the cameras as well, right?
Okay.
So those are the things. Actually, then you can invite next my fellow mate Apuami RM DDS will continue the presentation from this slide downwards. Then he will be presenting while DNK will be again moving the slides down. Right?
Okay.
Okay, clear?
Yeah, clear.
So those are the things actually. So I would like to thank every one of you for joining, having communications with me, having cooperation to this workshop. Right? So thank you very much, and I appreciate your contribution. Right? So thank you very much, and as I said, if you have any doubts, you may email me in email, and make sure to include a contact number if you're sending the email last email. Right? So thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day and stay safe. Right?
Okay.
All
Thank
the
you.
best in the
Thank you for
presentation.
visiting. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, cool.